We're now joined on the line by political analyst, Professor Somadoda Fikeni. Prof, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on AM News.
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers.
Prof, look, a lot of people will be watching with keen interest of what will actually come out of the DA's Federal Legal Commission today. Do you think that the DA is under a lot of pressure to charge Zille?
It is under a lot of pressure to do something, and it is divided because others would like to do everything to do damage control and avoid putting her into a disciplinary process that is guaranteed to split the party. And others may just say, if then DA doesn't seem to be decisive on the matter and take action against Helen Zille, then it's an open season for many of the DA members who may from time to time throw in their tweets and then follow that with an apology. Ultimately, it is the political damage that is worse for the DA because the black constituency that they were in courtship with may start moving away, and opponents may use racism as a stigma that has a longer shelf life than DA would have wanted.
Prof, look, do you think her tweets are enough, though, for the DA to charge Zille and eventually fire her? I mean, this is now yet another high-ranking party official after Cola Barnard to air such views in public. In your opinion, what would be the just punishment for such conduct amongst party representatives?
Well, I do think that a precedent was set with Cola Barnard, who didn't initiate the tweet that she circulated, but she simply circulated what someone had written, and by implication showing that she favors or she supports or concurs with that. In this case, Helen Zille has written this tweet, and it follows the one where she had accused the famous singer Simpwetana as being a professional black, exploiting her blackness for her cause. And it followed the other one where the pupils from the Eastern Cape were called the refugees, educational refugees, coming to the Western Cape. So cumulatively, if nothing is done against Helen Zille, there might be an outcry that smaller and lesser important members are taken to task, but the senior ones are not taken to task. But again, it's a borderline case whether this was just an opinion expressed or it would border on a hate speech or on something that is harmful. But the political damage is quite clear.
Prof, look, we're still trying to find various ways to deal with racism in the country. Various initiatives have been embarked upon. But what do you think is the real reason behind these now seemingly constant racial tensions? We've just had the Spur incident as well. Every week it seems like there's something new.
Remember that our transition in the early 1990s didn't actually deal with the issue of a difficult conversation on how a divided society moves forward, having healed first. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission targeted state officials and also the white-speaking, English-speaking, sections of our white population have always subsided the notion that they could be racist in any form. And this was given to Afrikaners to bear the brunt. Now you are seeing universities like your VET universities, UCT, you are seeing your mainstream English-speaking individuals who seem to have sounded politically correct, but deep down they still have the racial bias. The society, the reason why we are having an outbreak at this time, it's a number of factors. One, the honeymoon of transitional period of rainbowism is over. The second one, the crisis of leadership in the country, which is unable to rise above the fray and give hope and direction. And this has actually led to the worsening of divisions at all levels. The third one, the socio-economic crisis that we're seeing in the country, where people are beginning to ask whether the promises of liberation have ever been realized in any serious manner, hence the call for radical economic transformation. The push for that then is leading to a reaction from those who are lying low, who are beginning to be emboldened. And the weakening of the ruling party, the rise of DA, some within DA who might have seen it as the preserver of white interests, are beginning to be emboldened by the fact that they are doing well in some of the metros.
Yeah, let's expand on that point, Prof. I mean, we've seen some placards and postcards saying that, you know, Helen Zille's tweets could hurt the party come the 2019 polls. I mean, with a party like the DA that is trying so hard to try and overcome the racial or racist narratives or undertones within the party, what do you think is the next best foot forward regarding this matter?
Well, I do think that the leadership should just distance themselves from this and put very stringent measures around Helen Zille and not to allow her to go on a social media and make a political commentary. I do know that she had been quiet for almost a year. It might just have been an envy looking across the Atlantic Ocean to see that these tweets seem to work for Donald Trump. And the context is different. And sadly, I think DA is in a very awkward position because the opponent, including EFF, which has landed some of its votes in the metros, are going to be merciless in showing that DA actually condones racism or harbors some individuals with racist ideas. So to that extent, the political damage is done come 2019.
Thank you so much for that intelligent analysis there. That is Professor Somadoda Fikeni. He was on the line to us with some insight on the Helen Zille tweet saga. A man who was called upon by police to